Holy moly. 8K was the lead that FlyQuest had, and Disguise able to turn that around. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with that level of performance, Mad Magical?
Look at the gold graph. You see, if you zoom in really close there on the right into the gold, right? You won't see any red because that's it. They still ended the game with less gold, I believe. Oh, no. Barely more. Look at that. 100 gold more. Just literally that low of a lead for Disguise because it didn't matter. They had the scaling on their team. They were able to outscale. And while Meech, I think, did a great job in a lot of those fights, Young disrupting Masu and never letting Masu pretty much play the game was perfect.
Young brutalized that backline, Cubby.
It was, the last 3 fights, Young found Masu every fight. For me, that was the big game changer in this one, as it enabled Meech, once he got late enough, he had the Rage Blade, he had at least the component for the Void Staff in that last fight, and that was just enough to get through that double Wits End solo laners that were really strong, as it was a hell of a game from Spyrax, but just not enough. Young answered back later in the game, came up huge in the team fights, as Masu wasn't peeled for, ends up going down, and Disguised, despite that gold graph, they're up 1-0.
Able to pull it off in a comeback victory against FlyQuest, a team that's definitely a challenge to have to take down, but they will take that game number 1. It is a best of 3, so more chances for FlyQuest to find the redemption angle and keep the momentum going. However, that is going to do it for our summary of game number 1. We want to move on to our Rally Cry halftime show, and that is going to be super heavyweight tic-tac trivia. It's kind of like tic-tac trivia, just with me on it, basically. And I mean quite literally, because I am on the board, baby. There I am, right in the middle. You've already asked this, Magical. You asked this last time you played.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm asking it again. I want to pick you.
Yes, yeah, okay. So, off of that, we're going to let Cubby go first because he did lose the last game. We gotta give him some way to redeem himself. So, Cubby.
Like the pen here in anger.
Who do you got? Who do you got, man? Who do you got?
How does this work?
You got to pick one, and from there, that assigns your X or O or whatever number you are. You're going to get a question.
Start with Young.
All right. Here comes Young. Young is well known for his melee play in the mid lane. What is his most played melee champion?
Most played melee champion?
Yes.
His whole career?
That's actually a tricky one. I'm going to go with Aurelia.
Ding, ding, ding! Nice. It is Aurelia! So you will get one of these Milios that we have right here. And where is that, Young? That's an O. That's a Milio.
Milio.
Yeah, see?
Oh,
get the Milio down.
There we go. I like it. All right.
There we go.
X's usually go first, but anyway, we'll let Mad Magical try and...
All right, I want
you, the first one I clicked. It's the first... All right. This is the special question, and that question is... The first time these two teams faced off, it was a 1-1, and FlyQuest had posted something on their social media, which was a butter knife next to a slice of bread. Next game, they got the 2-0. What was their post on social media that gave them that, Alex?
Their post?
Yeah, the first image, butter knife, and some bread.
Butter knife? What? This was what? FlyQuest posted it or Disguised?
FlyQuest posted it.
Disguised just steals their tweets anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was about to say if it was Disguised, it'd be easy because I could just say that they just took theirs. But if it's FlyQuest, I'm going to say that it was a piece of burnt toast.
See, why do you keep picking the middle if you're not going to win it, man? It was 2 butter knives that they put up.
Wait, he can't steal.
Oh, you know what, Cubby? You steal.
I knew that one. I had my hand up. I knew it.
Yeah, he did have his hand up. I will give him. I even
said on the cast when they 2-0'd, like I guess they needed 2 knives because it was the 1-1. That's how. Yeah.
You know, I showed some bias towards Magical last time, so I'm going to show it towards Cubby.
I'm okay with that. You can have it. I think he deserves it. He knew what it was.
So there we go. We got our second Milio.
It's got to be over you. It's got to be over you.
You're right. Hold on.
All right, we're gonna keep this interesting. Give me Masu.
Why is this not moving?
I don't play to win. I play for fun.
Wait, what's going on? Why is my thing going wild?
There you go.
Okay,
you
know what? This works. This works. This works. I have no idea why it's going a little jank, but okay, you wanted Masu.
Yeah.
So, Masu crushed the regular season. His most played was Aphelios. What champion was his most played in the spring regular season?
Lucian.
Double check that. You are correct.
Nice.
It was
nice.
Lucian, so we can pull that out.
Are we counting playoffs in this too, though?
No, regular season.
Ah.
So there's one on Masu. Already 3 for Cubby. Good job.
All right.
Good job so far. So, Alex, what do you got?
Give me Meech.
Meech.
Yeah, give me Meech.
Okay, simple one.
You aren't blocking me from winning in any way.
No, I'm not.
How many pentakills has Meech gotten this year?
This year? He's definitely gotten 1. I know that for a fact. Like, you got 1 earlier this split. I think, didn't you get 1 in spring? I'm gonna go with 2.
We go with 2?
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. That is
Yay!
correct. Got 1
point.
in the regular season for spring and 1 in the regular season for summer.
Because I remember the one in summer, and I'm like, I was trying to think if he got 1 in spring.
Meech.
I'm like,
There we go.
I was pretty sure he got 1 in spring.
So there we go. We're going to put down our Lil Nas X.
How
4X.
many does he have total?
How many does he have total? That I don't know. I haven't looked that up.
Okay.
This was a very specific stat. All right, all right. Do you want to try and go for the win right now, Cubby?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to.
You got 2 angles.
I have
3.
3.
You have 3 angles. All right.
I got a lot of angles. It all has to do with FlyQuest. We're gonna go with Spyrax in the mid lane. What's up with Spyrax?
All right. Before becoming the man we know, Spyrax started off as a solo queue 2-trick. Name 1 of the 2 champions he's played.
Yasuo.
Correct.
What was the other one? Was it Rise?
No, it was Lee Sin, actually.
Oh, that's
What?
right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. That's right. Okay.
Wow.
So now let's
Cubby
go ahead and take
wins.
this to the front. That was, who are we doing?
I got revenge in dominating
Spyrax.
fashion.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Congratulations.
I've won 1.
Congratulations.
That's all I care about.
We got our tic-tac-toe, so that means Cubby is going to be our winner. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, you got smoked this time, Alex. What happened?
I wasn't in it to win it. You know, sometimes it happens. You just bounce back into game 2. You go, all right, it's mental reset. You just got to get the mental reset going on.
Well, our teams are in it to win it, and we need to get in the draft in order to see that come to conclusion. So, Mad Magical, go ahead and take us to the wondrous land that is the Rift.
Well, before we get into that, let's get into the draft itself, so that way we can see how the 2 teams stack up against one another. FlyQuest Challengers, 1 game away from getting knocked down into the lower bracket, which means we would be guaranteed 2 of our teams that are not affiliated with any of our LCS orgs automatically guaranteed for top 3, which means that there'd only be 1 more spot between FlyQuest TLC and EGC if we're looking at EGC as being like the kind of favorites in the lower bracket at the moment.
Yeah, I will say the loser of this drops down to face the wildcard MU. Yeah, because it flips in the lower bracket. So, it's still EGC is going to be tough to get out of. The winner of TLC EGC, that's going to be a scary one for either of these teams to go down there and face. But we already have a Swaparoo coming up. Change the strategies from FlyQuest as Sejuani, Poppy, all on the board, but they're going to deny that Maokai from Tomio. Again, Tomio on Maokai or Sejuani is now 17-2 the split for Disguise. As Sejuani is available, we'll open up melee solo laners for Young, which he loves, and also you can play into the Maokai rather positively. So I really expect to see that from Disguise. No surprise there.
Nope.
I actually kind of want to see them deny a piece of Zyrakan. It's either that or you power pick stuff like the Jax for Fake God, or the Kaisa that has been still dominating the meta.
I was about to say Kaisa still open, and I think that's where FlyQuest are just going to slam the Zyrakan themselves. Grab those 2 for a more powerful bot lane that could really help them out, but we do got to keep in mind that this Kaisa is not guaranteed going into the bot lane. Even if we've seen Young really put that preference back onto the melee mid laners, there's still a lot of flexibility that Disguise have for themselves, even though they grab this Rel, which is going to be guaranteed into the bot lane because the Sejuani picked up beforehand. They have now some really good engage potential on Disguise between Sejuani and Rel.
I'm not surprised to see the Rel. I actually really like Rel against Rakan. It really feels like you can kind of stymie what he wants to do at times. Not to mention your big counter engage. Really tough to move Rel in terms of stats. Now, I'm going to go out on the limb and say that I actually fully expect this Kai'Sa to be bought. I think that Rel Kai'Sa is very much playable in Desire Rakan. Also, we have seen Young on melees. Young on melees has been very much a winning formula for Disguised. I expect to see FlyQuest take away maybe a Silas here, as they are showing Malachi plus Rakan. For me, that's actually enough ultimates to already deny Silas from Young. And then at this point, we got to talk about when we're going to see Young stop getting Akali. Akali is pretty nasty from Young. He is undefeated. He's 7-0 on the champion this split between regular season and playoffs. And man, those late game fights for Young wasn't the best laning phase. He was focused down. It was a lead for Spyrax. But still, Young was able to show what he can do on this champion at the later stages of the game, as Masu wasn't healed for. Young got him every time. And yeah, I think that he has earned a ban. I don't know, but I feel like I want to see that banned away right now.
But the thing is, it's like you ban away that Akali, Aurelia is still open. And that's something they could also play here for Young that works really well with the Sejuani. Jax is another thing that is open, that if they want to, Fake God can grab that for himself to go up against Faisal in this top lane. I feel like there's some really powerful options here for Disguise that even if you banned away that Akali, it'd be hard to deal with. So leaving open the Jax, the Akali, the Aurelia, only one of which can be picked up with Disguise.
I do like the Aatrox ban. That is something that Fake God is very good at, and Aatrox got big buffs on this patch. We did see Niles play him in both of Maryville's games. But with Aatrox taken off the board, it will still be that Jax that you called out at Magical. So that's going to be locked in with Young getting a counter pick, as I think the response we have seen from Faisal the most in the Jax, it has been this Gragas. I think Gangplank is very playable in the what's showing, but it does require some focus. Usually the resources for FlyQuest do go towards Masu and Spyrax. So on his own in top lane, Faisal with this Gragas would make a lot of sense to me.
Grabbing that, good displacement. I do like this pickup coming
really
in
good
from
at
FlyQuest.
Yeah.
And we've seen it many a times. Like you said, it has been the counter pick that they've kind of had for themselves to try to deal with the Jax, at least try to deal with them in lane. But Spyrax is back on this
comes
Yone.
Akali.
And that's where I would imagine that Young would just slam that Akali here, go for the matchup. Even if the lane phase was a bit difficult, we saw the power that Young has once you get those 2 items in your inventory. Masu just was not allowed to play the game.
Also, part of why that lane phase was difficult was just the focus that FlyQuest put into that mid lane. And a lot of that was the Sejuani combo with Yone. Now, Akali has that Sejuani, and they can actually try and make those similar plays into the Yone. So, a little bit of a stronger jungler now for Tomio. And a lot of this is going to be about leaning on the top side of DSG with the Sejuani, then get Kai'Sa to the later parts of the game, much like what we saw FlyQuest just use in that last game. Whereas for FlyQuest, a little bit more scaling options for them. They actually have reasonable sources of magic damage this time around in that top side. So I still favor DSG in the later stages of the game, and I really want to see FlyQuest have a better approach to controlling the Akali in fights, because for me, that's what really broke the game for them later on.
I think they do have better tools here for FlyQuest to deal with Young on his Akali. But like you said, it is going to be something you have to deal with. You have to put that attention onto Young, which means you're now ignoring the Meech and Fake God problem that they have for themselves with this Jax and Kai'Sa drafted here in game 2. Disguised winning this one, it automatically gets them a top 3 finish, and they would face off against Cincinnati Fear in the upper bracket.
And would be one best of 5 away from making it to LA, which is huge. As at the moment, I want to hear more from what we have going on from our teams, as I believe that we have an SOT coming out from the side of Disguise.
If you watch his performance over the last 2 weeks, he's been like the guy to carry the game over the finish line. Like his scoreline on Aphelios especially, I think we looked at the stats, it's like 85% win rate. So it's really cool to see like Meech Young develop as like these kind of not as known players as the other 3 Cloud9 champions become like great players in their own right.
Meech did really step up big in that last game, as well as Young. The 2 younger players of Disguise, the new elements of the team from the FlyQuest, from the Cloud9 Challengers roster that had won beforehand with Fake God Tomio and Zazel.
Hold on, I just wanted to hear the lamppost hit. We have different jack skin this game. You know, you gotta get the sound effect on the thud that we're gonna be used to.
Not as big of a fan there. It sounds more like a laser than does a lamppost.
Yeah, I like the traditional thud, you know.
Thud, thud, thud. Yeah.
All right.
What's better though is Alistar skin with the cowbell.
Yes, that's a good one. Personally, I prefer a different Alistar skin as Meech. So you might have to.
Oh, that's an early cleanse out of Meech.
Yeah.
Masu and Winsome already getting that out of Meech, getting a lot of control here over them.
They take down the Ignite for Cleanse trade, as that's important because Yuji is working his way towards this bot side, whereas Tomio has gone, 3 camp. He's walking bot
too.
too.
The 2 already for Disguise, playing very aggressively themselves, putting the Ignite down, forcing out Masu and Winsome back down towards their tower, and with Tomio nearby, it's a bit early to look for that dive.
He is, but he can go for the red buff. If Yuji stops for his Raptors here, it will be a red buff sneak for Tomio. Yuji, aware of this timer, he's going to throw, something in there. Tomio, he's got Smite coming back up. He's going to auto this Smite of the way. It will be a camp steal for Tomio against Sejuani. Has more early game options in this matchup than Maokai, and Sejuani does win the early trades against Maokai, especially since Maokai has gone for the first strike. Doesn't have that phase rush to get away. Now, I love this from Disguise. Yeah, they spot Yuji on this side of the map. You can see Fake God already going past the Gragas. This will ensure that he gets a bonus wave. He can reset, will walk back, and not miss a single thing. So, really like this team play coming out from Disguise. As Tomio's going to go on Yuji. Yuji's going to have flash.
They're not done. They're continuing to play. That was a great buffer there from Yuji.
Life-saving.
He would have died for sure.
That's a really good buffer from Yuji. That saved his flash, saved his life, as Tomio wasn't able to convert. Now Tomio, he's going to have to flash out.
Forced to flash.
Wow.
After a nice save there from Yuji. Good roam timers from FlyQuest to at least get something beneficial from that play. The fact that they were able to keep Yuji alive. Didn't flash either. Getting the flash out of Tomio. Even if it's the Sejuani and she still has ways to get out. You'll take every small advantage if you're FlyQuest.
I mean, that is big coming out of Yuji, because he's going to at least get access to a crab if he doesn't hit that. And that crab is dead. It's gone to the wayside. As you can see, Tomio is going to walk up, get the bad news. Yuji's not yet spotted in the river. But yeah, Tomio, he's looking for the double crab off the start that he had, and he's not going to be able to get it. So honestly, Yuji surviving this first clear rather well.
Bot lane continues to duel. Back and forth they go. But with the level experience going for Masu, Meech and Zazel, we'll just wait for that wave to crash back towards themselves. Make this bot lane as even as humanly possible.
Fake God, curiously enough, actually going for the null magic panel, so trying to take away some of the damage from the Gragas, as he will lean on the grass to sustain. Will not help him towards that Divine Sunder, as Sunder very much needed for Jax in this matchup to try and survive the onslaught from the Gragas.
That's kind of the whole reason why you take this Gragas. Is he's really good at buffering a lot of what Jax wants to do, but it's one of those positions where you just can't act first as either side. You kind of want to be reactionary to your opposition, because then you put yourself at a disadvantage. Well, unlike this mid lane, we're seeing that Young, Spyrex, they're both looking for these early rumbles, trying to get the edge over one another.
And it's been a better laning phase for Young. I think part of this is the jungle matchup. Sejuani being in the face of Maokai, and Spyrex does have to respect the power of Sejuani plus Akali. Also, Spyrex didn't get that third wave in, so Young playing the early lane phase a little bit better. We have seen Young, I think, really level up his laning phase throughout the split. I think that it has helped. He has gone back towards some of the melees that he is comfortable on, but that is really part of the game that we're looking for Young to level up. So it has been good to see some growth out of him there, as Zazel sacks half his health to take a control ward. That is worth.
He'll be fine. He's got some refillable pots there, so he can heal up before going to the bot lane. Not too worried there. Just about fishing for that control for either side in this equation. FlyQuest, it feels like they still have kind of that similar identity, that they want these fights right around like 12, 13 minute mark to go their way so they can snowball out of control against these guys. Even if they have better options in the late game than they did the previous time, they're still going up against a Jax, an Akali, and a Kai'Sa, all of which are going to be brutal to deal with on 2 items.
The Yuji is a camp short of that level 5, but given the bot lane push, it still will be a Dragon start, but this is dangerous for FlyQuest. Young has access to 6, and there is a Sejuani here. So I actually like Disguise trying to force FlyQuest to take maybe some bonus damage on this Dragon, as this is a fight that I think is playable for Disguise if Young's able to get involved.
Hey, look at this. They got Meech here. They're waiting for Young, especially with the snapback coming in from Spyrex. It's a little bit of a rumble on one side. Well, FlyQuest tried to start a fight there on Meech, but they couldn't get the kill, and they've lost the Dragon control. This fight secured by Tomio. Tomio will fall to Winsome.
Oh, no.
It's a 1-for-1 trade at the moment. The flash coming in. Does Meech want to flash over that one to pick up the kill on Winsome? No, they want to keep the fight going on to Spyrex, getting all that damage with his flash. But where are you going? That's the wrong way. You can't get out of this one. Meech. They want to give that kill over to Young. While Meech did so much work against the 2v2 bot lane. They get the kill, though. Spyrex 1v2.
No.
He gets them. He topples them, even if Meech was able to get the kill back on a Winsome. Spyrex making sure the play is not all for naught for FlyQuest.
I mean, Spyrex honestly might have saved the early game there for the side of FlyQuest, because Meech was trying to take down Winsome in the back, was trying to save his flash, ended up getting more damage down on the bot lane duo, but FlyQuest, the bot lane, they spread out enough to eat it. Meech wasn't focused down on a single target. And then Spyrex in the back half, Lethal Tempo Man, working overtime in that 1v2. He finds it, takes him down, and Spyrex is fed again.
Spyrex off to the races, and is going to be difficult to contain for Disguise. We saw last time how well he was able to play a lot of these fights, and we look at this one.
This is a tough start because they chunk out Yuji. He smites early, he goes down immediately, and then Young was able to get enough damage on the Winsome. Now, Meech could have flashed and taken Winsome and gotten red buff right here, but they wait. Oh, we got to pause, we got more action. Spyrex.
More action. It's going to be Young tag this time around. Bounce around, but he's in the Twilight Shroud, so he'll be out of that one. Even if it seemed like he had nothing left in the tank, he had enough bodyguards there. And with the Rift Herald, that is going to be easily disguised.
Now, Herald's up, and Yuji, I think he might be 2 camps away from hitting level 6. Yeah, he is just passed up on the Wolves. The fact that he doesn't have level 6 and Tomio does, that's going to be a big advantage going over to DSG.
FlyQuest seems that there's still enough members there to scare away Disguise.
Yeah. Masu's mid, so I think that's the big difference maker. Because Masu's here now, he's going to actually fade bot. This will enable DSG now to walk back in. Yeah, they're trying to pull Masu back now. But this Rift Herald is at half, and honestly, if DSG could just hang here, it's good for them. Because again, Tomio does have that ultimate. That level 6 advantage is really big for the Sejuani.
Fake God wants the angle, but it's going to be the ult on to win some. Not the person you want to tag. Instead, it's going to be Young. Bounced around.
Got him.
He couldn't get into the backline, but he's into the Twilight Shroud. Zazel keeping it going. But look at Masu getting the damage on Young. Young trying to dash away with the perfect execution. They get the damage. He does fall to the tree. But look inside the pit. It's the smite secure they got. And now they got to fight away with Spyrex. Masu, even Faisal here to fight back. Disguise will topple and shut down Spyrex. But he has to dash away with the ward. Getting back towards Tomio. But they're in a bad spot.
They win this. They win this. They win this.
They've got the damage, but he dashes back using the belly flop. Look at Masu. He's got enough help there to scare them. They've got to be so careful. Where do you go, Disguise? How do you try to get yourselves out of this one, especially because Winsome is going to show up? The blast cone did not help out. Masu, make sure there's no escape, or is there? Tomio, he'll get himself out of dodge and leave Fake God to die.
While all this was going on, Meech got 3 plates for himself in the bottom lane. So it's big that FlyQuest, Yuji, they were able to take the Herald for themselves, but Meech got so much free time. You can see he's pretty far ahead of Masu now, who is pulled to this fight. This fight was crazy, man. Young goes down this in mid-second cast the ultimate after Zazel saves him with that 3-man CC combo. If Young gets it off, Yuji falls, and then the skirmish on the back half, yeah, they do get Yuji. Masu cleanses out of this. Fake God gets really big here on the Jax, flashes, takes down the Yone, and then it's a little bit of a game of cat and mouse as Fake God escapes. DSG felt like they could turn this. Faisal is going to dash out of the second part of the Sejuani W. That's what enabled him to get out and bought enough time for FlyQuest to rotate members back to take the fight, have it be positive in their favor. And now Spyrex, he's fed again. And I really feel like this game going to come down to Spyrex versus Meech. Yet again, Meech got so much free farm, free time to himself in that bot lane. He has the Shiv completed. So Meech is really strong on the map. And Meech is, playing this Kai'Sa, the one that has to cash this in.
Gonna be a lot on the Meech, and you can even see he has the most gold, despite the fact that you have Masu right there hot on his heels and being a part of that play. Like you said, getting all that cash in from those plates in the bot lane for Meech has made it so that despite not being a part of the fight, he is still on the same par as Masu.
Now we'll see if they can actually, you know, play towards Meech there, make something happen. As Spyrax
have a little bit of a fight. Seeing a little bit of skirmishing back and forth on both sides, but FlyQuest actually, he really wanted that one against Faisal. If he can get that solo bubble for the team, that could help them out a lot with playing around this bottom half of the map. You can see that they are set up for disguise. The Dragon up and available. Got Yuji caught out a little bit. Shuriken flipped back, and ult 2 to make sure they chop down the tree before they get sliced by Spyrax. But Spyrax, he's out of there. Even though Mossy was able to get the kill on the beach in the bot lane and chasing away Zeyzal, there's going to be ultimately a 2-4-1.
Oh my god, these teams are just throwing hands as the marksmen trade themselves out in the bot lane. I wonder how that one happened. But you can see the Sejuani, how the impact it's had on the mirrored matchup in the mid lane. Or I should say the same matchup from game 1 in the mid lane. He's fine. He can. Oh,
is he fine? Young? That's like, is he fine? Because Young was right there. It's Winsome scaring away Young, though. Catching that Shuriken to save the life of the mid laner, but it does lose out on the Dragon at the same time.
All right, let's see what happens, bot. As at this point of the game, I think Xayah Rakan's favored. Oh, Zeyzal just sends it.
What a flash there.
They get. Oh, that was close.
Nice,
okay, so
Masu.
Well, yeah, the really nice flash from Masu. What Meech is trying to do there is he's trying to ult under the feathers so that flash being matched. Meech wasn't able to match it as well. Masu finds a little bit of an outplay, and Masu is still very fed, and the one that is stronger at this point of the game on the Xayah. So Meech still has some time to scale on up. I still think that Meech got a big win out of that Herald play. He is so accelerated in this game, given where he should be. But it still is FlyQuest that have the Goldie.
They don't have the Dragon lead. You have to still worry about Meech once he's finished that second and that third item. Even looking at Young right now, he's still working on the components to get himself on a stronger footing. We saw last time that Young had a very quiet early game, wasn't able to do too much on the Akali. It was the team fights and how much he disrupted the backline, especially Masu, that made it unplayable for FlyQuest.
You can rinse and repeat that performance in this game too. As FlyQuest, they have better, I'd say some better scaling tools, but also, oh, hold on.
Oh, nice cleanse there from Masu. What a perfect cleanse. But
Young's here.
Masu's here. It's Young in the back line. Tagged by the quickness, tagged by Yuji. Feather recall does a lot. Young, he wants to chop down a tree, getting the flash away. Will actually take down Yuji underneath the turret, but now Spyrax is here. They have TP. No, they don't have it for Faisal just yet. TP's not up, and look at how low he's been taken by Fake God. That is why FlyQuest decided they're not going to look for the play at all.
If anyone's going to look, it's DSG. FlyQuest, I don't think they can fight this. They would need something really big. Meech still has his ultimate to reposition. As they are spotted on a ward right now. Tomio's still hovering.
Oh, they're looking for it. They're going to get the Feather Storm there from Masu. Zeyzal took too much damage. He did not give respect that Spyrax had not recalled, and now they've tagged him. Almost got the re-engaged from Winsome to look for Meech.
Okay. I guess they thought Spyrax would have matched mid. A little bit of a game of guessing game there from Disguise. They guessed wrong. They get punished. As probably a fight they should not have taken, given that Spyrax wasn't showing anywhere. He still gets to pick up the wave bot, and overall, Spyrax again having a really big game here for FlyQuest.
Did in game 1. That wasn't enough, and that's going to be the big thing. Is it going to be enough here, especially now that Masu's having a much bigger game as well? 4-1 on the Xayah, but still struggling to get away from Young every time. It just seems that Young has his number.
He is really fed though this game. Masu is. Meech is on a similar level given like the bonus CS and the points that he was able to get. I think that first brick might really help be a big boost to one of these marksmen, as it is Masu that hits the bot wave first. You can see he's going to make his way up here. FlyQuest is going to start off this Herald, and I don't know if Disguise can even fight it at the moment. They have all their tools up, but I don't think they want to. Spyrax a bit too strong, and the wave's too good for FlyQuest, as both top and bot have just crashed. And there's no response for Disguise. They're still cleaning things up, and no play.
They are also getting to a point in the game where FlyQuest, they're getting those item spikes that they need to, where they're going to feel really strong. That Blade of the Ruined King for Spyrax, Kraken Slayer for Masu, even getting the Everfrost there for Faisal. Disguise are a team that need a few more items before they can really feel like they're on the same level here as FlyQuest, even if it is a very close game.
Yeah, first one, definitely looking for that proto belt on Akali. And then Nashor's Tooth is going to be really big for Meech here, too. I think, if anything, Disguise can look to fight once that Nashor's Tooth is completed for Meech. That might be the first angle. They really try and look. But it is still FlyQuest that hold the lead. Credit to Faisal on the top side. A lot of the time, it's been off camera. But Faisal is just doing a good job of neutralizing this matchup. He is so good at this on the Gragas. Spyrex gets a little easy there.
Just delaying the back. Just saying, hey, yeah, I see you back there. You're going to miss this wave now.
And that's big, too, because it delays the Dragon setup. As Disguise just sent 4 back, Young's going to be late to that wave. Yes, he has the Proto Belt, but FlyQuest now have first say to set up in the river. Very critical if you are a Maokai team. And
with FlyQuest already moving there, it'll be hard for Disguise to play into this one. It would be their 3rd Dragon of the game. Get them that soul point potential, especially with a Hextech Rift. It'd be a very important soul to gain for themselves, but FlyQuest are doing a smart job right now, utilizing that they know Disguise probably don't want to actually fight into FlyQuest at this point.
They can lean on the Maokai poke if you are FlyQuest challengers to try and set up and delay this dragon. It would be soul point for Disguise. It's a very powerful soul. We got another Hextech soul here, so firepower for whichever team is able to secure it. But a grouping is really good, and I think the big key, FlyQuest have a lot more ways to deal with Akali this time around. Maokai, great for dealing with Akali.
True.
Rakan, the Charm, if that is able to connect, easy to chain CC. Not to mention even the Gragas, one of the picks that I think is very strong into Akali as well. So Young, he was able to go off last game. There wasn't the really focused CC on him to make sure that his life was difficult when taking down Masu. I think that FlyQuest brought a lot more tools to try and deal with Akali this time around. Was the big difference in game 1. And we'll see if he can be a big difference again here in game 2.
Guys, slowly pushing back some of the vision that FlyQuest has wrestled for themselves just a moment ago here in this river around the 3rd Dragon of the game. FlyQuest should feel strong still. That's why they're the ones hitting the Dragon. They've got that TP. They've even got the Cosmic Drive there for Faisal. So 2 items now strong for the Gragas. That TP threat alone should be enough to deter Disguise. As you can see right there, they didn't want to go anywhere near that fight.
All right, so just going to be a trade as Jax will take the top outer turret, and bot outer actually does end up falling first. No local gold picked up, though, so a lot of the opportunity for gold falls for FlyQuest, who will also take mid outer. So a lot of things falling on the map here. Good on FlyQuest to delay that soul point, or deny it, I should say, as it will just be gold onto the Jax, who should be more threatening in the side lane.
It'll be difficult for them to contain eventually. Or even in some of these fights, we've seen Fake God on this Jax before, and landing a lot of those 4-man counter strikes that can set up the rest of the team to follow up, especially because you look at these guys and every one of their members can dive. All of them can chase down these kills deep into enemy lines. Because now that we're getting to a point in the game, the Baron's going to spawn up here. You have a slight advantage for FlyQuest, but Game 1, they had a massive advantage and still lost that to the scaling of DSG.
Yep.
We are getting to those 2-item spikes now for Disguise. You've got the Nashers completed for Meech. Are we looking at another TikTok clock situation?
It's got to be 3 items for Meech. I think that's where things get deadly, and we'll see if Meech ends up going for the AP variety. I don't think it's going to be the case yet again. Meech wants to do some auto attacking in these fights, and if he does position well, he does have the ability to DPS, something that Meech does very well. Inherently, as Winsome, he's dead.
Oh, no, Winsome just dead. There's no way out of that one. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Once we saw it all set up, and look at that, Faisal, Yuji, they're hanging out on the top half of the map, and they're like, yeah, never mind. We're going to bail out of this one.
They deny local gold again. As FlyQuest, they have to reposition to try and contest this Baron. Support's down. Spyrax is waiting the TP. TP's mid, but this Baron's already at half. They're going to keep Yuji out.
They're just looking for it. They don't want it. They want to take down the tanks. They've got a lot of damage on Yuji, the first one to fall, but they've got Fake God as well. Look at Masu. He's the one chasing, flashing forward. One and all. He's still got it, but they've got him stunned up. The cleanse, not enough. Meech still kiting back and alive. It's Disguise got Young into the back line. They might have lost him, but 3 are alive. Only Spyrex here as Winsome. He's still a while off to be able to show up with the team. Or is he? He's got the gates, and they are low. They can re-engage this one. They've got the tag. That's a lot of damage. The body block there from Tomio onto Spyrex. The re-engage from Zazel. Trying to poke out, but the flash in with the grand entrance. Meech still alive somehow. How does he keep doing it? Trying to get the damage on Spyrex. CC to take down everybody at FlyQuest.
We came in here praising Masu in this series. He goes down first, and it's Disguise to peel around Meech. First off, it's a beautiful cast from Faisal. This splits up the entire fight for Disguise. It was looking very grim. Everyone on Yuji. He still falls from the Masu. He goes for a big play. He tries to take down Meech, but he flashes in. Zeyzal lands a perfect CC chain onto Masu's Meech survives. And Meech, he is dancing around at 0 health bars, man, for the entirety of this fight. And Disguise, the fact that Zeyzal, Tomio were able to turn this on Spyrax and win some was crazy. As first off, Zeyzal finds great CC. Tomio interrupts the dash, the part of it from the E in the back half for Spyrax, and then Meech just spaces everything. Yeah, he eats this, but Spyrax, he doesn't fully commit forward, doesn't find Meech. The stun comes in right before Tomio goes down, and Meech able to actually get down the Acathian Rain as he rains hell upon FlyQuest. Meech, he was the one given the gold early, and he's the one so damn fed in this game. It will be the Luden's variety of the Kaisa. Once that item gets online, this game gets so much harder for FlyQuest.
And look at that damage from Meech in this game, and you're now listening. We have to really listen to Zeyzal and his words on Meech and how this guy is, the mechanics he just showed on the Rift there.
Oh my god.
What is it, 500 ping that he's doing this all on, and he's still got the most damage?
I mean, I think after a play like that, it's got to be over 1,000, right? It might just be his power level at this point if they keep on turning it up.
It really could be. That could be what it all is about, because he's looking good as right now Fake God and Faisal. Faisal, you no longer win this one. This is rough for you. Fake God, he can just wait it out. He's looking for the dashboard, but the slow there from the cast will be enough to save Faisal's life, but force him out of the lane.
Did they?
Oh, did they? Nope. No, they did not. All right. Bye, Faisal.
Well, that's one way to force him out of the lane, as he's going to be in timeout here for a few seconds. Fake God pressure ends up being too much. FlyQuest Challengers, I don't think they have... Fake God does have to base after this. They're starting Baron. They're starting Baron. Okay, Fake God can base and TP. Young's out of position though too. They gotta start this. Young's gonna instantly TP. Fake God's gonna pop up after his base. That's enough to get FlyQuest to at least hop off the Baron, and that should be easy mid prio and a Hextech soul point secured for Disguise on the back half.
Yeah, as FlyQuest, do they go for the risky play? Do they try
yeah,
to
that's
force
another
them?
blue trinket.
Hey, go for it. Go for that soul point potential, Disguise. But we will be right on top of this Baron if we notice.
I think what FlyQuest are hoping for right now, that Disguise send one towards the Dragon and then end up over-committing to it. So yeah, you can see Zeyzal's out of position here. Fake God, he does have TP, but he's going to walk up. FlyQuest, where's it at?
Where's it at? It's down low.
They're
looking to pull back
Tomio.
They're keeping him out as the best they can. They're even using the roots. It is dead. Turo Baron buff snuck away by FlyQuest with a re-engage. And then pop back in Zeyzal. No Magnet Storm. Even Winsome all finally falling. Look at Young though. He wants to get into this back line and get on top of Masu. But there's no way for him to get there. The poke from Disguise could be enough to deter FlyQuest. But they're the ones who toppled the purple worm. They're the ones wearing the purple now as Disguise are now trying to start up a fight as they get the TP out of one. There's going to be Spyrax rejoining, even forcing the ult there from Tomio to disengage.
Wow. This is tough now because FlyQuest, they got enough out of Disguise where I think they're the ones that can actually push for the Dragon and deny another soul point from going over as the Turo Baron buff is secured. The pressure is enough for FlyQuest to make sure this Dragon goes in their favor as it's game 2 of the series, Man Magical. We got another back and forth game. Each of these teams throwing haymakers at the others. They try and secure a top 3 finish with a win here. Enter the best of 5s in the upper bracket as FlyQuest Challengers really backs up against the wall. Faisal goes down in a 4v5 across the map. They were the ones dictating the map against Disguise, and they end up walking away with both monster objectives.
Keep in mind, with Proving Grounds last year and the change of formula, FlyQuest has yet to get into the top 4. Last year, this year, they're so close each time, but top 5, top 6 finishing both times around last year. This would be their time to come back here against Disguise, the team that have 3 of the victorious spring members. They can beat them here in the upper round, guarantee themselves top 3 first for the Challenger squad.
And especially for players like Spyrax Yuji that we have been so excited about in their 4th split at this level, trying to secure that first top 4. So close. against Cincinnati Fear last split, and trying to make a difference this split, as they're going to utilize Baron to get some more gold in their coffers. Inner turret taken. Masu sitting at 3 items now. He actually has gone for the Maw this game. One of the adaptations that have been made against that Holly, what's Kaiser trio? Oh boy.
Masu up in the air, trying to get away. He flashed forward, but all the while, they're getting this attention. Fake God, first down so quickly. FlyQuest even pulling back in. Young almost were able to pick off the mid laner, but he was able to dash back towards his base. But with the Turo Baron buff still there for FlyQuest Challengers, they are going to open up this top lane inhibitor.
And Young's behind this game. The team fights were so big for DSG last game in the mid game, but Young's down 3 levels to Spyrax. So FlyQuest playing out these 3 lanes and has gotten the best of the skies. I think Maokai really helps slow down the game when you play out these 3 lanes. We've seen that for FlyQuest. Is now first inhibitor is down, second inhibitor turret falls, and nothing will deter FlyQuest from taking this down.
Sky don't know how to get themselves into this one. They're being cautious. They want to get onto the back line and take down Masu, but how do you do it? Like you said, Young only level 14 to the 16 of Spyrax. It's so difficult for him to even get on top of the marksman.
And now we get the true limit test, man, Magical, of how strong is AP Kai'Sa, as it's actually going to be a Leandries for Kai'Sa, so more ability haste, a little bit less pen, some bleed. There are a few health stackers on the side of FlyQuest, so I think that this, it's not terrible coming out from Beach. Will be a Void Staff up next, and the goal here for DSG, lean on the Kai'Sa poke. As many W's as you can connect if you are Meech. Doesn't matter who they hit, especially with the Leandries. Just apply the burn, get the the cooldown back, because the more W's you hit, the more W's you can throw out. FlyQuest, they only have one more lane to play out, and they have some sustain to actually walk through this. So I think it's going to be tough here for the side of DSG.
One of the best ways to play into a poke comp is never let them set up. Constantly look for these fights, and it seems that FlyQuest have learned that lesson from game 1. They're looking for these fights. They're looking for these plays on members like Young so that he can't get into the back line. They can march down this other lane, as you had called out, Cubby. Take down the final outer turret that remained for Disguise.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Tomio, Fake God trying to fix the waves. Fake God got that top lane in really deep. I saw his TP. They're just going to force ult. No one's here. They're going to get
dashes away.
TP
Gonna get a damage onto the turret. They take that down. Young tries to go into the back line, but he's rooted for so long and bounced around. Fake God couldn't even get back there either. But look at Matsu. He cleanses the jump back in from Fake God, trying to take him down, but nobody can get Matsu. He's still free firing. Fake God did his best, tried to get the Kai'Sa, tried to get the Xayah, but it's the Xayah who comes out on top with a Kai'Sa so far away from the fight, forced away by FlyQuest Challengers, who now have the minions, Cubby. This is going to be our first time here of the playoffs that we get the full 3 games. This could go the distance. This, guys, you got one final fight, 3v5.
Not enough poke.
Looking for the damage, trying to take down Faisal, but body blocked by Winsome as Fire jumps on top of Meech. The flash, but the shutdown there for Meech. The poke's coming through, it lands on Amasu. This, guys, they're not done just yet. The fight continues, looking for the poke, but not going to be able to land that time on Amasu. But can they delay? Young has that TP. That's a deep TP ward too, and they're looking to keep FlyQuest from basing.
25 seconds until the dragon spawns. DSG trying to keep FlyQuest on the map as Faisal will grab some fruit. Not able to secure the crab. Could be sole point. But, I mean, the base is in tatters for DSG. That's a triple inhib. And Tomio.
Tomio finds Faisal. Tagging him. Chasing him away. But you don't realize that they're all here. This is not looking good for you. Even though you look for the fat man, it's the fat lady that's singing here. Disguise as FlyQuest get the double kill.
That was a full send from Disguised. They thought they had the Disguise to get into the enemy backline and ended, but that's not going to be the case. I think that's just all she wrote, man. Magical. 30 seconds on Tomio and Young. FlyQuest, one more Nexus turret to get through as FlyQuest, this time around, just a few small adaptations to the draft. It's been enough to protect Masu. I think the Masu going Maw early, also really big. Too much for DSG to deal with. The Zeyzal, that's a big one.
Zeyzal. But look at Masu and how aggressively he's playing. And untouched as well. They can rip apart Disguise. We're going to game 3. Even if Masu falls, they still pick up the kills, the shutdowns for Spyrax. Our first time here in the summer split in our playoffs. We will go all 3 games with FlyQuest And the KDA's on the way out unless minions can end it first.
And for a team that is so flexible in FlyQuest, for them to take a similar core and just make a few adaptations. Hey, we need the Xayah Rakan. We're going to take Maokai so that we can actually set up and make it really difficult for Tomio to just deathball against us on the Sejuani later. And then the Gragas as well. The Gragas just peeling in teamfights, creating more space for Masu. You can see how much harder it was for Young to find the same executes onto the Xayah this game. FlyQuest band together, protect their marksman, and despite some heroics from Meech and the side of the skies, it is FlyQuest evening it up and going to game 3.
We got game 3. We're going to toss it to a break so we can get ready for that one because I'm excited. This is a series, Cubby, and we will be right back.